Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Robert Metonunu, and I'm the founder and director for Zion Remote Job Services. Today, we have a webinar. We have been having a series of webinars to educate people concerning jobs. And we are going to have invited guests who are going to share their views on job strategies in Africa. That is some of the strategies and ways you can utilize to find jobs in Africa. And this live webinar is being recorded by Zion Remote Job Services. And it's going to be available on our YouTube channel for people to watch and learn. And so before we start, I'm just going to have a little brief introduction about Zion Remote Job Services. Then I'm going to mention all the guests available to introduce themselves briefly. They mention their name, their country, and what they do. And so Zion Remote Job Services is a staffing and recruiting company located in Accra, Ghana, but we work globally. And Zion Remote Job Services was started by me, Robert Metonunu, as I realized that there's a need for a much better online remote jobs and on-site jobs company to help students across the world. And so we are actually registered in Ghana. We have several partners, and we have our website and our social media handles and a lot of followers. And we are building on wonderful things through Zion Remote Job Services across the globe. And we are looking forward to partner with institutions, church members of various institutions to partner with us to recruit from Zion Remote Job Services. So that is some of the global vision that we have. Today's webinar is titled Job Search Strategies. And we are going to have panelists who are going to do some of the introduction. So we'll start with the first person, Eugenia. Kindly your name and where you are, your country and what you do. And then we'll go to Nwafo, and then we'll go to Sister Nyampunga, and then we'll go to Brother Patrick. And so in that order. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Eugenia Gomoa Sebo from Ghana, Cape Coast specifically. And I work with SCEP Foundation. I'm a freelancer, and my niche is in medical coding and billing. So at SCEP, I'm a student mentor and tutor for medical coding. And I also help in the project management of their internship programs. So basically, that's what I do. So I work from home.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Now, let us also hear from Sister Nwafo.
Yeah, good evening. So my name is Nwafo Levi. I'm a physiotherapist. I'm at the same time, I'm a virtual assistant. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, Nigeria. Which side of Nigeria?
Enugu, to be precise.
Okay. Now let's also go to the next person. Sister Nyampunga, your name and where you are from, and a little bit about what the work you do.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Faith Nyampunga, and originally I'm from Zimbabwe, but I'm currently staying in South Africa. Yeah, I'm studying with BYU, Idaho, and I'm working a number of jobs, I can say. So yeah, I'm currently working as an au pair, nanny, yeah, and sometimes caregiver and stuff, yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I do.
All right, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. And you are all welcome to Zion Remote Job Services webinar. We have been having a series of webinars to discuss more about jobs and various topics. We record it on our YouTube channel for our followers to watch, and so that we can be able to help people understand more about jobs. And so one thing I want you to understand is that Remote Job Services is not affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but we are doing something to help all students from various schools, including BYU Pathway, Ensign College, universities in Ghana, universities in Africa, and across the world. Because many of our followers and those in our platforms are from various institutions in Africa. And so that is something that I just want you to be aware of. Is Patrick here? Patrick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So kindly also introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your name and where you are from and what you do. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Patrick Kwesi, and I live in the western part of Ghana, Takwa precisely. I'm a graduate student from Namnon University in business management, and I'm also an office administrator and programs coordinator for the beauty institute currently. And I live with my family in Takwa as well, and I love to network, especially most of the students across various institutions. So that is exactly who I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so there's something that this particular webinar, I've invited students from BYU specifically. As myself, I'm a BYU graduate. I graduated from BYU Brigham Young University in 2016. I got my associate's degree and then my bachelor's degree in 2020. And so I majored in health administration, and then I minored in university studies. And so varieties of things I have learned as a BYU alumni, and I'm also currently a BYU ambassador for the school. And so it is appropriate that at least I acknowledge that we are all BYU together as a family, despite we being under the umbrella of Zion Remote Job Services. And one thing too, that we are speaking from different nations. We are hoping to build more of these webinars from several places and across Africa, because we'll be doing this regularly, and several other opportunities I'm bringing on board. And so we'll start with your responses. I'm going to ask few questions, and I'm going to briefly hear your views on that. And what are some of the job search strategies that you feel can be utilized by our followers who'll be watching us across the world? People watching us across, because our platform is covering all aspects of the world: Africa, Asia, the West, Europe. We have followers across the world. So this particular webinar is going to be watched by some of your colleagues, some of your professors, and a whole lot. And so just give brief suggestions so that we can be able to cover a lot of things. So now let me know your views. What are some of the job search strategies that you feel can be utilized? When we say job search strategy, talking about some of the ways that people can use to find jobs. Okay, And so we'll start with Eugenia, and then we'll get to Sister Nyampuga next, and then we'll get to Sister 1-4, and then Brother Patrick will give the final idea. So please go ahead, Sister Eugenia.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. So I know my other panelists will list more, and I will try to make it as personal as possible and as relatable as possible. So it's a job strategy. You find what works for you. We have lots of strategies. You can use your social media platforms to search, make sure your audience know what you are doing. So for me, I said I'm into medical coding. Make sure everyone knows that you're into medical coding. Apart from that, and when I talk about social media platform, it covers LinkedIn, Facebook, even TikTok, anywhere that you are familiar with and you are good to go. Another two is online search. And we all have our, even as a virtual assistant, we have our area of specializations. So whatever niche that you are in, you use that as to find all the available job sets related to your niche around. And also networking, which is very important. So I will just center on these three: networking. I remember when I started job search, I felt that I was too shy or something, but what I've learned over the years is you can't use shyness to search for jobs. You have to come out of your shell. You have to network, accommodating. You have to be also very patient, because some people are fortunate. The moment they start searching for jobs, they get. But others too, it will take a while. Not forgetting, one thing I've realized whilst I'm doing job searches, you might have the credentials, but the clients, they want experiences. So don't say I've gotten the credentials, so when I apply for jobs, I'll get immediately. Be patient with yourself, build your portfolio, build upon your experiences. You can even volunteer in your field so that it will show in your resume. And I'm telling you from experience, you are really good to go. They concentrate more on experiences. You have these certificates, but have you applied it to work before? So don't expect to start earning immediately. Relax for yourself, be patient, volunteer, search for internships and what have you. However you get the experience, make sure you get those experiences and build on it. Thank you.
Okay, now let's hear from Sister Nyampuga from South Africa.
Yeah, I agree with Eugenia about networking. So if you are to look for a job, you need to network. Like tell friends, tell people around you, even people from church, tell everyone they should know that you are looking for a job. And yeah, and then the other thing, make sure that your profile is up to date. Say your LinkedIn profile, because there are other employers that will check the LinkedIn. Then also make sure that maybe some employers will even ask for your Facebook account, but yeah, not really, but mostly create a LinkedIn account, create, and sometimes, for example, say it's teaching, you should also have a YouTube account where you kind of like have lessons that you record yourself teaching, for example. Then, yeah, that's all I can think about. And also be willing to volunteer, like what Eugenia said, that for you to gain experience, because sometimes it's so hard, like to get internship, like asking around for internship, it can be hard. And the only easier way that you can get into the field of whatever you want to do, you have to volunteer. And for example, say teaching, for example, you can volunteer. There are lots of There are lots of schools overseas where you can teach online. Like I've been doing that for some time. Like, yeah, there are schools like, not schools, what do we call these programs, like Let's Go to School. Then there's also Lucero Systems. You can go look for them on the internet, just Google, and you find them. And then you can volunteer and teach. That way, you be gaining experience, and at the same time, you get exposed. And then there are also other apps that you can use, like job apps like Indeed. You can make use of Indeed, where you can upload your CV and all your information you can upload there. There's also Seek. There's also what is this other one? I've got lots of them. I didn't even write them. There's Seek. There's Indeed. There's I'm forgetting the names. All those you can make use of those. There's also the Great Au Pair. You can, yeah, you can upload your CVs there, create a profile so that employers, like for also BYU students, of course, there's Handshake, that you can upload your CV and you can upload your transcripts, the unofficial one. They want to see the transcript. Then companies will see your CVs and they can contact you, and make sure that you have like updated CV with your phone numbers there, with your active email address there, with your references, with your what else? Some companies ask now these days, like your COVID status, are you vaccinated? All those things, you have to add them on your CV. So yeah, updated email address, like active email address, a LinkedIn account. Yeah, you have to include those things. Then that way, it's, of course, I've been looking for a job myself, but I've been using those things trying to get something. And I hope, since I'm still studying, definitely I kind of like not so active looking for the job I've been studying for. I'm just fine with what I'm doing now while I'm finishing my bachelor's degree.
All right. Thank you so much, Punga. Now let's also hear from Sister Wangfo, and then we'll go to Brother Patrick Wilson also. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity. So what I'm going to add in what they said is, they really talks a lot and it's very, very true. I just completed 6 weeks program on virtual assistant. So I've learned a lot in the program. Volunteering it can go a very long way, especially for people that just finished any degree or anything, to gain experience, because with those experience, we can be able to search for jobs. If you don't have those experience, like people out there, they are looking for people that have like some experience, maybe a year or some months experience. So volunteering can even make a way for you. You can even volunteer for companies, you work for them. At the end of the day, you see yourself being employed. And again, is networking. You can network in many different ways using some job online platforms like the LinkedIn. You can even use them, the Indeed, the Fiverr, the Upwork. They are very wonderful. You can search jobs there. Then developing your CVs and your resume, your cover letter, it should be tailored to your specialty. It should be tailored to your own specialty. The CV will stand out. When your CV and your cover letter is very well, it will stand out for you. When people are looking for who to let, they just look at your CV, cover letter, like it talks a lot about you. So when you develop your cover letter very well, I think it will attract people more. Then the last one I will add here is enrolling in some short courses. When you enroll in some short courses to get certification in them, when you get certification with that, you can go for some experiences, volunteering, then look for jobs. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mwanko, from Nigeria, who have already shared the view. Now let's also hear from Madam Patrick Payson. Some few thoughts on that, and then I'll also go ahead. We cannot hear you, Madam Patrick.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm saying that they've mentioned a lot, and most of their thoughts were about social media. Okay, and I think it's one key area that a lot of students and people around the world are using to find jobs. But I think we are not paying particular attention to in-person networking. Okay, we need to build networking in person. For example, people we meet in church, people in our neighbors, people we know that they are working in certain companies. Okay, we need to build these connections with them so that if there's any job vacancy within their company or organization, they can quickly alert us on that job vacancy. And I think it's one thing that we are not doing. And one other thing is that we need to be able to adapt to different types of sectors and location. I mean, that gives flexibility. If we're able to adapt, especially in today's, competitive market, if you have that adaptability and you are available and flexible, you'll be able to have more opportunities whenever you are searching for jobs. And I think it's one key area we should also give we should pay particular attention about. So I think these are the key two areas I want to give my thought.
Thank you very much for sharing your views. This is a global views that we have shared, and you are all right. You are all right. But I also want to let you to know that there's more that we can talk about if we want to talk much into it. I would add that yes, one thing that we have to take key in also interesting is what Mr. Nyampunga spoke about. You should be able to find online apps and online websites, and that helps you find access to jobs to apply. And I think that is very, very important also. And likewise, the social media you said, Desirable Job Services has websites, has social media platforms that we frequently post jobs, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and the rest. And so we are working on making sure that our website will very soon feature jobs to give access to employers from any country to just post jobs on our site. And so we are working on that. Now, let me also hear from you briefly. This is just one minute each. Sister Eugenia, what testimony do you have you had in the past in finding job? Briefly. And then we also hear from Sister Mwanko from Nigeria. Briefly, just a minute.
Okay, so my work with SCEP is a testimony because right after I completed their program, I was hired to help others in Africa know more about medical coding and billing. So it came promptly, or I was hired promptly. So it is when I was searching for more jobs online that I came to appreciate it a lot. It all boils down to networking. So my testimony is about networking.
Okay, is that wonderful?
Okay, I think my own testimony lies on that networking because it's somebody that will connect you. You cannot just be there you need somebody to connect you there. So if you don't network, nobody knows you. Even when the hiring manager needs somebody, they will ask for, do you know a particular person? So it's people that will refer you. So most of the, if let me say like 90% of people that are getting work is through networking because it's
Okay.
people that will refer you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Patrick, I want you to share just in a minute. Do you think AI can also help in job search strategies? AI. Mr. Nyampuga, you too. Just a minute because we'll be ending very soon.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. You know, AI is one tool that it's simply helping us, do things with ease. And I think the use of AI is very important if we are to pay attention because a lot of jobs that we find online are mostly, you know, by networking. And I think with the use of AI, anything that we search with the appropriate, you know, SEO engine, whatever optimism that we use to search online.
Okay.
AI
Okay.
has all, yes, it has all the requirements
All right.
to get
All right.
to watch online. So I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Nyampuga, let's hear from you. How do you think AI is also very important? And just a minute so that we can wrap up.
Sorry, what was your question? I didn't hear you. I'm kind of
AI.
multitasking now.
Is AI is AI going to help? Is it helpful in job search? AI.
Which one is that?
AI. Some of the AI apps like ChatGPT and then the rest. Is it helpful?
I think the ChatGPT, for job searches, I've never really used it, but I find it so helpful using it as part of when I do researches for my assignments and stuff. Not like I'll copy what it will say, but I'll kind of find an idea of what I will really be looking for. Then from that idea, then I can cultivate from what I have. Like, yeah, I was working on this part of the assignment. We're supposed, for example, I talk too much anyway, forgive me. I'm just trying to help others understand how it works for me. Like part of the assignment that I just submitted today, I was supposed to write a love letter. And so on the love letter, I had to use things like similes, metaphors, whatever. And I was like, love letter. Anyway, so I kind of went to that chat, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I need to write a love letter with all these. Of course, it brings me some ideas. Then I didn't copy and paste what it says, but I got my ideas. So I think, yeah, I think it's a best one. I've never really, I didn't know that I can kind of try to look for jobs using that. But for me, it's been so helpful. It's been so helpful. So yeah, you just light a bulb in me that was not, yeah. So now I have an idea of something else. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you all for participating in this brief webinar. Just to get your point, it's straightforward and we have all acknowledged your ideas. And I also want to conclude and let you know that job search strategies is very much important. People need to learn strategies in doing things and finding jobs. And all that you have shared is right. I would advise that people do more research. Research is very much important. And when you do much research, you can be able to find as many opportunities that you're looking for. Tailor your research very well, and you're going to find the jobs you're looking for. If you are in Nigeria and you're looking for jobs